Hi, we're coming to you from the basement today. I know, different location. It's pouring buckets outside. This is a rack we picked up from a grocery store going out of business, and I've set up my cold weather plants in here. They're outside now, but this is where I started them all. I have a fan down here that I use to help strengthen the stems as they grow. Most of the lights are gone. I have them upstairs with the warm weather plants. Um, I picked up grow light from the hardware store and trays. Pretty standard stuff. I have my sprouts going down here, and things that I need to plant in pots yet are still down here waiting for me to get at them. Warm weather plants won't germinate down here because it's 59 degrees, and I do need to, looks like I need to empty out the dehumidifier. And sure enough, it is full. I need to empty it. But this is what we got down here, and this is great for starting onions and any of the brassicas. I started cabbage down here, Swiss chard, celery, parsley. Those kinds of plants are really good in cold weather, and so they'll germinate down here with no problem. And you can see I've got my sprouts going on down here too. They like it down here for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. I've got alfalfa sprouts and clover started, and I'm going to also try some sunflowers. So we'll see how that goes. And then I've got my things to plant that I need pots for yet down here. So that's the basement. Let's go upstairs and see what I've done with the warm weather plants. Cold weather ones right now are outside. They're fine out there. They've been hardening off and they're ready to be planted. Let's take a walk. Okay, so as you can see, now we're upstairs. It's 66 degrees here or warmer because I'm standing right next to the oven and I made bread today. So it's nice and toasty up here. I do have some plants on a heating pad down there. I need more heating pads. Pots, the cow pots, the manure pots, have things in them like squash, zucchini, cucumbers, melons. These are things I don't want to disturb. So I'll just plant the whole pot in the ground and it works out fantastic. And then once the plants get big enough, I'm going to have to transplant those tomatoes back there. And I have some basil in here. And the marigolds were crop failure, so I'm going to have to replant those. I have some other seeds that I'll use. Those were last year's, maybe 2 years ago's seed. They didn't work too well. I do have some that I collected from outside, so I'll give those a shot. And then up here, this is where the tray graduated. It's sitting on top of the light, which is still warm. It's in a corner, so there's not a whole lot of air movement. This is a different kind of tomato. I've got some coxcomb. I've got some holy basil, and I'm not quite sure what's on the other side. I have, for the big trays, I use a soil blocker. I'm really happy with the soil blocker. And then those get transplanted into old milk cartons when they're done, when they're big enough. This one here, I've got the floodlights again. These are the Miracle-Gro full spectrum sunlight bulbs in just a typical hardware store light fixture. And since I can't raise and lower the lights, seal my tea curtains, I raise the seed flat up to a height where it's close to the bulbs so that the plants grow up straight and they don't get too leggy. And then, since I only have one heating pad, I have to kind of rotate these guys in and out. There's another kind of tomato up here and another kind of basil. This is just plain Genovese sweet basil. And the plants that are over here already got transplanted. Those were nasturtiums. And then over here, I have eggplants in the cow pots, and those are doing really well. I'm very pleased with those. So that's what I've got going on in the kitchen. You can see, here's my seed that I collected. This is marigold seed waiting to be planted since the other ones were a crop failure. So yeah, that's the kitchen. And that is about it for my my indoor growing setup. It's not much. It doesn't take much. And you certainly don't have to use an expensive grid thing like this if you don't need to. I found stuff on the curb that I grew with for years too. They don't last as long, but because there's a reason they're on the curb. But yeah, that's how it goes. So I wish you happy growing, and good luck this garden season.